go from that to we find out that we're going to get Dolph Ziggler versus Daniel Bryan, and fans can vote on the referee, pretty much the remaining Intercontinental Championship ladder match participants. After that, we get the Snoop Dogg segment, and
which was great.
Yeah, absolutely. He's dancing with Rosa Mendez, Alicia Fox, Cameron, and Summer Rae. Then he, comes, into the ring. He starts cutting a promo, says Snoopamania is in the building. Goes to plug WrestleMania 31, but he's interrupted by Curtis Axel, who tells us not to change the channel. He said it correctly this week. And then Axel says, Snoopmania, more like Axelmania. And, he goes on, putting Axelmania over. And he says, he's not going to sit around and let Snoop talk about Snoopmania while Axelmania is running wild. And then Axel does a rap that pretty much concludes with him saying, Axelmania is here to stay. And then Snoop's like, oh, yeah, we'll tell that to this guy. And then he says it's
Real
the
American, brother.
Yeah, the most important mania being Hulkamania. And then, yes, Hulk Hogan does come out.
Da, 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 da. I freaking love this segment, dude. I love it. Anytime Hulk Hogan randomly shows up unannounced, and it's not like a shilling segment where he's talking about, buy the WWE Network, brother. It's only $9.99, brother.
Yeah.
Like, anytime he shows up and it's not for that reason, I am all in. I freaking love segments like this. And I even had someone on Twitter ask me, so did Axel get buried in this segment, or was this him getting a rub from Hogan? And my answer is, simply put, it doesn't freaking matter. Because at the end of the day, people aren't going to remember this segment for, oh, hey, remember that time when Curtis Axel got totally bitched out by Hulk Hogan? No, they're going to remember, hey guys, remember that awesome segment where Hulk Hogan and Snoop Dogg were doing the pose down in the ring?
Yeah.
Axel, and then that's another thing too. Curtis Axel is a comedy heel. This is what he does.
And he does it very well.
Yeah, very well.
He got in Hogan's face. He ripped the Axelmania shirt, and he tried charging at Hogan. Hogan pretty much lays him out with the right hands, and then Snoop Dogg throws Curtis Axel over the top rope, to continue that theme. Oh, I've never been eliminated from the Rumble. And yet everybody, every week after, just finds a way to throw him over the top rope. Just kind of shut him up. And Snoop Dogg had that honor this week. And then to Ashton's point, Snoop Dogg and Hogan posed together in the ring. It was a really cool moment. Had a lot of great energy. And yeah, I even said to you, Ashton, kind of close that segment out, that this is how guest hosts should be used. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, it was great. This segment was one of those segments where it was like, man, I normally don't like random guest host segments where they bring back legends, but this is one of those segments that I'm going to remember for a really long time.
Definitely. Well said.
Like, this is going to be one of those segments where in a year or two we're going to look back and be like, hey man, do you remember that one time when Hulk Hogan came back and he was doing poses with Snoop Dogg?
Yeah. And
it's kind of like that one freaking segment at WrestleMania where Hornswoggle randomly got his voice before he earned his voice or won his voice in that Battle Royal.
Right.
Like when Hornswoggle was talking or rapping in front of, I think it might have even been Snoop Dogg at the time, at, I want to say WrestleMania like 26 or 27, somewhere around there. Like, that's just, you could call it a stupid segment if you want to, but at the end of the day, the number one word that I would use to describe it is memorable.
Definitely. So, yeah, this is great stuff. Hogan even made a weed joke, and he said, hey, well, Snoop would know better than anybody. What the heck is Axel smoking with Axelmania? I thought that was pretty nice.
Yeah.
And, we go from that to six person or whatever they call it, tag team action. Cesaro, Tyson Kidd, and Natalia versus El Torito and Los Matadores.
It was a 6-being interspecies match.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. You know what, though? Here's my thing. What I freaking hated about this match, about the rules to this match, is that when Natalia or El Torito got tagged in, whoever, if El Torito got tagged in, Natalya had to come in for the other side. If Natalya got tagged in, El Torito came in on the other side. It's like literally this is the WWE saying that these two people are lesser. They are inferior. And if one of them is in the match, they aren't allowed to be in the ring with anyone else other than the other team's inferior being.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
You can tell they don't watch Lucha Underground. Maybe they would have taken notes.
I know.
But
if Lucha Underground treated Sexy Star and Masquerita Sagrada like this, I would be raging.
Yeah, definitely. That said, though, Usos and Naomi were on commentary. I'm going to be honest, and this is no disrespect. Well, not even that they were terrible. I didn't even pay attention. Like, I don't even remember what they said.
You wouldn't know if they were terrible or not then if you didn't pay attention. And I did pay attention, and I'm telling you, they were freaking terrible.
I'll take your word for it then. But regardless, not really much to say about this match. Long story short, Natalya screws up. She ends up getting pinned by El Torito.
Yeah, she did.
And Los Matadores and El Torito winning it.
Natalya just continues to prove why she truly is the worst.
But I don't even understand this storyline anymore because we vacillate between 1 week when Cesaro and Tyson Kidd win, Natalya swoops in and takes the glory, and she's been known to take Tyson Kidd's half of the tag team title and pose with it. And now this week when she screws up, we go back to the whole marital issue kind of storyline. What is it? Is Natalya overstepping her bounds, or do they have marital problems?
I'll tell you what it is. Natalya is the worst.
I was going to say she's horrible either way, and I honestly don't care.
Exactly. What more explanation do you need other than she is awful?
Yeah, way to cost Tyson Kidd the match, and if I couldn't even be pissed at you anymore, your night didn't even end there, but we'll get to that.
I know, I was just gonna say she cost her husband the match, and then later on the night, she cost her husband a freaking meal.
Yeah, we already deal with a company that overlooks staph infection. I can't imagine catering's that appetizing, so when he tries to get Burger King, what does his wife do? Step in. That's really great.
I mean, I've heard of trying to take the food off of a man's table, but that was ridiculous.
Indeed. We go from that to Bad News Barrett backstage. Kane pretty much confronts him and says, hey, I'm here to relieve you of the championship. Barrett doesn't want to let it go because, hey, I've been chasing this thing for 6 weeks. And then Kane says, well, as the director of operations, I'm authorized to strip you of that championship, so really, have it your way, whatever you want to do. And then Barrett finally, gives the belt to Kane, and Kane taunts Barrett over the odds of retaining at WrestleMania. And so that was great. Rusev versus Jack Swagger's up next. Anybody really care? I mean, you know what the crowd cared about in this match? Lana. Because for the second straight week, we got "We Want Lana" chants.
And that's another Twitter interaction that I had. Someone on Twitter said, oh, I told you guys that Lana would outshine Rusev. And I was just like, no. You don't understand. The only person that Lana is outshining right now is Jack Swagger, because the crowd isn't supposed to cheer for Rusev. They're supposed to be cheering for Swagger, but he's so irrelevant that they're cheering for Lana, who isn't even there, instead.
Yeah.
This was an example of Jack Swagger's theme song being about 1 billion times more over than he is.
God, that theme song is amazing. Why him?
Why couldn't Cesaro have gotten that child?
I know. The
Their
divorce
breakup was so bad.
I know, so lopsided.
Yeah.
Match pretty much ends after Rusev makes Swagger tap out with the Accolade. Again, this match has happened so many times, I honestly really didn't even care about it. I knew that Swagger was just fodder for Rusev's momentum.
And yet, on that same note, this match still had a different, a sort of unexpected finish, because he actually tapped out rather than the last 1 billion times they've faced where he just passed out.
Right. Rusev doesn't break the hold. I do like commentary's use of the absence of Lana here, because they say, well, Lana is kind of the handler. She's always been able to, tell Rusev when to let go and this and that. Now that Lana's no longer in play, it's kind of like the last thing that was restraining Rusev. So if anything, now without Lana, we should fear Rusev more than ever. And I like that spin. Really get the heat on him, really make him seem like that monster. Cena comes out to take it to Rusev, and it seems like he starts to, he's definitely taking the fight to him, but then Rusev takes control, throwing Cena into the security barricade, then he gets him up, and then he drives his back into the steel post, and pretty much Rusev puts a whooping on John Cena here, and I love it.
It was so good. Honestly, dude, this was my favorite segment of the entire show.
I would agree with you. I love that we have a heel that doesn't take John Cena's crap either verbally or physically.
I know, and I love too that Cena was trying to basically get a jump on Rusev. Like, Rusev had just been through a match, and then Cena comes out to try to attack him. It's such an underhanded, heelish maneuver, and Rusev says, "Ha ha ha, I'm the heel in this feud. You can go screw yourself."
Is he really, though? Because I think a lot of people
Only
would
by
beg to
WWE's
differ.
standards, my friend.
Yes, exactly. And that qualification is so desperately needed because I even said on the last Raw, wow, John Cena is the perfect representation of America because he's been nothing but an utter douche to a foreigner in this entire feud. So, that said, Rusev pretty much lays Cena out, but then Cena makes the mistake of getting up while Rusev is still leaving and doing his thing like a dumbass. And Rusev's like, oh, well, that wasn't enough for you, Cena? Well, I got a little bit left in the tank. And then he comes around, kicks Cena in the face, clears off the announce table, and I thought he was going to do some kind of, splash or something really devastating. But what he did, honestly, was even better. And then he turns Cena over, kicks him in the small of the back, and he locks in the accolade on the announce table. And, I mean, to your point, because I know you said this during the actual segment when we were conversing, Rusev's facial expressions are priceless. He gets into it, man. Like, he was ready to murder Cena right there. But then he finally lets go, takes his title, gets back in the ring, and he poses with it. I know a lot of people are scared for the future of Rusev. Personally, I'm not anymore. The guy's too good to be denied anything. What a great freaking heel he is.
Yeah. He's amazing. By the way, I wanted to give John Cena some credit for this segment because that bump that he took getting thrown over the announce table was golden.
Yeah, I thought the bump that Seth Rollins took when Orton tossed him over the announce table was good, but Cena...
That was just as amazing, but the fact that it was Cena the one doing it, like, it's all 6'2", 245 or however many pounds Cena is, it's more impressive to me that Cena pulled something like that off. And it seems like he actually got more air than Rollins, which is amazing. It's great because when Cena really dedicates himself to selling something, I don't know if there's anyone that can outsell him at that thing.
Yeah.
Like, you watch Cena really put his back into selling a choke slam, and I don't know if there's anyone that can out-choke slam sell John Cena if he really tries.
I mean, you want to take a look at Cena's selling ability when he really puts his back into it. Watch every confrontation he's ever had with a pair of steel steps ever.
I know. Dude, that's not even selling, though. He just straight shoulder tackles him.
Yeah, it's like, oh, man, finally my rematch. Send me in there, Kane. Oh, God, my shoulder. Oh, Steel keeps winning. Why? But yeah, good stuff here. I enjoyed this. Again, really, if I had to rank, the matches of WrestleMania where my interest is, I would say IC title ladder match is number one. Honestly, I think this match for me in terms of build and the guys involved, I'd say this match would actually be number two for me.
How great is that, though, that the two quote-unquote mid-card championships are the best built matches going into Mania?
Definitely. Like, as far as build goes, I would say ladder match, Rusev Cena, and then Taker Wyatt, because
I would say Rollins Orton over Taker Wyatt.
And see, I have to disagree, but it's actually kind of a nice segue because we get Bray Wyatt's segment next.